With the sustenance power of Adi Vishnu, matter gets divided into many elements. He creates them in a periodic pattern. Figure 4-6. Adi Ganesha stabilizes carbon for life processes. His forearms are the four valencies of the stable elements like carbon. Carbon forms the basis of the organic elements and is the balanced saturated element. The others are either valency 1, 2, 3 or more in completing the end of inorganic evolution. Now carbon, under Mahalakshmi's power, combines with the sun's rays and the moon's rays, which emit oxygen and hydrogen. Life pulsates in water, which is the combination of the sun's power and the moon's power at the Adinabhi chakra. The first pulsation is brought forth by Adi Shakti, who breathes on the water element. It is now an accepted fact for many biologists that the evolution of man from matter cannot have been by chance. They applied the law of chance to find out how much time it would have taken man to evolve out of matter. They calculated that not even the unicellular amoeba would have been created during the short time of creation. Even they feel that there is a juggler who must have done this miracle. When my generation were children, it was beyond our imagination that man would land on the moon in our lifetime. Now we find that he has achieved that impossible step by mastering and applying the science of explosive energy. In the same way, the evolution of man has been expedited by the same method used for space travel. A spacecraft is constructed with 4 or 5 containers joined to each other. They each carry explosives timed to explode at different stages of the flight. The spacecraft starts at a very ordinary speed, say x, and rises to a point where the first container explodes. With that explosion, the craft is thrown into a much higher speed, say xn. In this way, the speed continues accelerating, and by the time the 4th container explodes, the speed has reached x4n. The spaceship leaps into space. The time it takes to cover such a long distance is very short, even compared to the time taken by a supersonic aeroplane. In precisely the same way, a system of explosions has been responsible for creating the acceleration of evolution. Initially, when life exploded, the first container was that of the physical self. It exploded and expressed the physical self in the vegetable kingdom and in unicellular and multicellular animals. Then the second explosion took place to create the mental self. Through this advance, animals were gifted with intelligence. Animals whose physical bodies became huge were superseded by smaller animals of greater intelligence. With the third explosion, the emotional self was established. This group included such animals as dogs, monkeys, cows, horses, and dolphins. The last and final explosion took place when the human self was established. In a human being, there is a physical self, a mental self, an emotional self, and a human self. The human being has recorded all the experiences through which it has passed to reach the present state, and it is the unconscious which directs evolution. All animals which are sacred are on the central path of Sushumna Nadi. The physical explosion created animals which were physically strong. The extreme of physical achievement were animals like the mammoth, which were dropped from the evolutionary process. Of those that remained, the following were chosen as divine vahanas. The elephant remained on this earth because it was closer to the central path of evolution than the rest. It is a majestic animal and is sacred as the conveyance, vahana, of Sri Lakshmi. Among fishes, there were also fishes who grew very large and went out of the evolutionary process, while smaller, more intelligent air fishes survived. Of these, the dolphin, a very humane and sacred air fish, was closest to the central path. Among the physically powerful animals, lions and tigers were retained in the evolutionary process. They are intelligent and majestic, hence sacred, and are the conveyance of Adi Shakti, the primordial mother, the Holy Ghost. Among small intelligent animals, a mouse was chosen to be on the central path and is the humble conveyance of Sri Ganesha. Among birds, Garuda, an eagle, was regarded as the highest manifestation of its species and the most evolved bird. It is Sri Vishnu's conveyance. Among reptiles, the snake was the most highly evolved, Shesha being the seat of Sri Vishnu in the Bhavasagara or void. Foxes were the extreme of intelligence in animals and very cunning. They became demons, Rakshasas, like Kolasura. These types of demons are plentiful in the Kali Yuga. They have incarnated, calling themselves gurus, and with their guile they make sin seem like godliness. Punya. We will know more in the coming episodes. Jai Shri Mataji.